Hello everyone, Jim here with Sunrise Farm, along with my beautiful wife Sharon and lovely assistant in the planting of all things greenery. So, how you doing today, Mama?
Doing good. The gnats don't carry us away. We should get these planted in just a few minutes.
Oh yes, as y'all well know, we live in the lower part of South Carolina, and while it's hot and heavy growing season, planting season, it's also becoming hot and heavy gnat and mosquito season.
Yes.
So, thankfully, that's a thing, right?
Right.
You know, down here in South Carolina, we like to joke that the mosquito is South Carolina's state bird.
True.
Anyways.
True story.
So anyway, we're going to plant some sweet potatoes today, some Covington sweet potatoes. We've got 100 slips right here or so. And I've laid out 2 rows of leaf mulch and hilled them up so we can give the potatoes room to go. And we've got our drip tape in the rows and we've got it on. So let me bring you in a little closer and show you what we got.
Sounds good.
Okay. So here we'd ordered sweet potato slips from Haas, and these are, like I said, are Covington, and so these are pretty green. I've had them actually about they come first part of last week, so almost a week actually, and I have merely set them in a coffee container. I drink plenty of coffee, so I got plenty of containers, and I just put a little water in it to keep some water on them. You don't really want to keep them out in the sunshine, and you don't need to like put them in dirt or anything like that. Just a little bit of water will help keep them healthier and strong. But make no mistake, sweet potato slips are probably one of the toughest to kill, hardiest plants there is. That's why it comes just like this with a bare root system. And all you got to do is stick this thing in the ground and leave her alone. They love the heat. They don't mind the heat at all. I do have water lines, as I said, in my rows, and I'm going to show you my rows in a second, just so I can give them a drink of water every now and again. They don't require really any nutrients. You can fertilize them if you want to. Some people do, but they don't really require it. Some people say if you give them some nutrients along the way, it'll produce more. Maybe that's so. I don't really worry about it. So anyway, they just come like this. There's just a whole bunch of them, variety of sizes. But you can see all these healthy roots on them, and you don't need many roots either. If it came and just had a single root on it, in fact, let me pull this one out right here. See this thing right here? It don't look like much, right? Barely got a leaf on it. To be honest with you, it wouldn't even matter if it had a leaf on it or not. It has a viable root system. Once I plant this in the ground and it takes root, it's off to the races. These things will vine out everywhere and be all over the place. That's why I'm giving them some space. So let me show you what I've done for the setup, and we'll get to planting and show you how we do it. So right here, you can see I got 1 row and 2 rows. My rows are 50 feet long, and we've got this drip tape with 1 foot of emitter spacing in it. And so we're going to put a sweet potato slip every single emitter. So in theory, it's going to be, I have 100 slips, or they're supposed to be. I know I didn't count them. But we should be able to plant 100 sweet potato slips. Also, I haven't seen one right off the bat yet, but if I do, I'll try to show you. But if you get a sweet potato slip, sometimes you can actually separate them. If you have like a nodule with a root coming out of it, you can separate them and actually plant multiple sweet potato plants off of 1 slip that you get. So let me bring you in a little closer on the water lines and how I set this up. So to start with, I took my tractor. I brought in, I've talked before about having leaf mulch compost. In fact, I was able to do these 2 rows, and I was going to do another row for butternut squash, and realized I'm basically out of what I would consider the good stuff. I have more, you can actually see them in the background of this video, more piles of leaf mulch, but they aren't really at the point where they're viable for compost mulch. They'd be good for mulching around plants and stuff, but they wouldn't be good for composting and growing in. At any rate, I've got these 2 rows here that I brought the tractor in with, and I just kind of laid out the rows, and then I took my rake and raked them down. And then I separated them because that stuff stays loose all at all times, which is why you want to use, one of the reasons why you want to use compost in the first place. It doesn't compact. So once I did that, I just took my rake and just kind of separated a small little trench in it so I could lay the water lines. And also at the same time, instead of covering it right up, we'll just use the water lines on how to plant the slips. So I've just got these 2 rows here that are already, like I said, they're already prepped out. So let's get to planting. Now, one of the first things you can do is separate out your sweet potato slips and just put them, space them however you're going to plant them. Obviously, I just said we're going to plant ours on the 1 foot emitters, and so we're just going to start spacing them out. All right, so there's a couple of ways that you can plant these things. You know, it's just really comes down to preference and or setup, equipment, this kind of thing. But you can actually lay these in the ditch and cover them up. That's all there is to it if that's what you want to do. Lay it down in the ditch right beside the emitter and cover it up. So it's just that easy. Sometimes you can even take whatever you got as a poker. In this case, it's just an electric fence post, and you can make a hole if that's what you want to do. And then you can take the sweet potato slip, get it down in the hole, cover it up that way. No big deal. It doesn't matter much how you do it. You're really just wanting to get the roots in the ground, get some water by them to get them going, and everything will be fine. All right, well, let's go ahead and knock some sweet potato slips out. You want that bench?
Uh-uh.
I don't know, but I feel like we got way more than 100 here.
Might have to put in another row.
I know we got way more than 100 there.
them out of the ants for a while.
You should be that far down.
No, there was some just a little ways.
Oh, really?
Let's try that again.
Now, as my beautiful wife is planting away, you can see how quickly it can go. I just wanted to kind of mention something that you see these here. When you get these, you might think, man, what'd they do? They ripped apart or something. That ain't gonna grow. I absolutely promise you it will. As long as it's got roots like that, even just one single strand of root, it will absolutely grow. Plant them. You'll be happy you did. But also, and by the way, I'm just gonna say that we bought these from HaasTools.com. We pre-ordered them, I don't know, a month and a half ago, whatever, and they came, like I said, the beginning of the week. I put them on water just till I got to these rows prepped and planted. But we bought a bundle of 100. You know, we have the space. Obviously, you can buy them in smaller batches, slip bundles. But we bought a bundle of 100. Right now, I mean, we haven't planted them all yet, but we have laid them out. Right now, I'm going to say they probably gave us about 120. Or somewhere there close up. We'll get a final count at some point. Now the question is going to be, I hate to waste plants, so now I got to figure out where can I plant the rest of them. Because, yeah, they're quality sweet potatoes. And we are doing a farm market, so yeah, I don't really want to waste produce. But let me show you a point that I was talking about. This right here is one of the slips they sent. This right here is another. Okay? So, you can merely take this slip. Now you could pull it apart if you want, not a problem. But if you have a razor knife, scissors, whatever, pruning shears, all you gotta do is snip it off. And so you end up with two, because that's got plenty of roots. That'll absolutely grow. And this right here absolutely is already healthy looking and will grow just fine. So that's where they probably sent one slip, and you can easily make two out of it. Now, I'm not going to do it in this video, but in technicalities, even when you get up here, when it starts splitting, you can actually see these are root nodules. You can technically separate them here too and get more plants. But for the sake of this video and the sake of our planting space, it was easy enough to separate that one, just as it is easy enough to separate this one. This one here is pretty thin, so I can probably just pinch it off with my finger, like so. As long as it has a root system already on it, and those root nodules, you almost can see it. Let me see if I can get up close. can almost see on our nodule, there's little fine roots already coming out the side. Right here, right here. So, but with those roots right there, and there's a little fine one right there. Technically speaking, I could probably split this right here and get 2 plants. I'm not going to, but you probably could for sure. Like I said, sweet potatoes are one of the hardiest, easiest, hard to kill things you could possibly grow, and they can give you a lot of produce from a little slip. And to be perfectly honest, well, this year we'll probably store some. It's one of those crops that in most cases you only have to buy once if that's all you want to do. Because if you keep some potatoes and next year you put them into some whatever, a grow bag, a raised bed, even in the ground, you can actually grow your own slips right off of those potatoes. And in actuality there too, you don't even technically have to plant them to get the slips to grow. You can actually stick them in a half glass of water like a mason jar or something. But that's just to say that you can really have a lot of continuous production from one planting of sweet potatoes. Just something to bear in mind. All right, y'all. So we are done planting. Probably only took about a half hour to plant. And we have 50 in one row and 49 in the other row for a total planted of 99. And my beautiful assistant says we have 17 left over. So yes, we got quite the value for the money. All right, well, we want to thank you for watching this video. Anytime you give us watching a video is just an amazing blessing to us, and we thank you from the bottom of our heart. If you have any questions, comments, different ways you plant them, hey, please let us know in the comments. We'd be more than happy to learn new ways and to share things with other fellow growers. You know, there's generally no right or wrong one way to plant something. So yeah, let us know what you do. Have you ever tried sweet potatoes before? You know, they've been a southern staple for years, but they're becoming more and more popular all over the country, especially with the onset of some variations in hybrid style sweet potatoes that you can grow in a lot of even far northern far northern states, excuse me. I do live in the United States. So anyway, yeah, so if you like this video, please subscribe, share, and hit the bell notification so you can get updated anytime we put out a video. And yeah, we thank you so much. So we look forward to seeing you real soon. Take care. God bless you. Have an amazing day in the Lord.